Hi, this is Randy Wykoff, the Dean of the College of Public Health at East Tennessee State University, and I'm pleased to share this week's update on the corona pandemic for June 14th, 2020. As you know, we've been watching this pandemic for a while that has basically occurred everywhere in the world. Because of the inconsistency of testing, we've been looking at death rates, particularly cumulative death rates over time. So globally, when we started in mid-April, there had been 165,000 deaths. We've been following that every week, and such that today there's been over 430,000 deaths in the world and almost 8 million confirmed cases. In the United States itself, we've been following the deaths, and they've gone from 45,000 to now about 117,000 and over 2 million confirmed cases. Now, total number of deaths don't tell you as much as you would like to know because every country has a different population. So we've been looking at deaths per million. And when we started this, the US had 123 deaths per million compared to Belgium, which at the time was the most at 503 deaths per million. And every week, all of these numbers have been increasing, such that we are now at 355. In that time period, Belgium's seen a 66% increase in cumulative number of deaths, and we have almost tripled, but we're still nowhere close to where Belgium was when we began this process. We've looked in the last week at the growth rate in the cumulative number of deaths. In the first couple of weeks, we were seeing a 25% growth rate. In other words, if there had been 100 deaths the first week, there'd be 125 the next week. Then it began to slow down into the mid-teens, then down to the single digits. And this last week, we've seen about a 5% increase. So clearly the rate of growth is slowing down in the United States, which is good news. But what we have to be careful of is there are two things we don't know. One is what's going to happen when places open up, and the other, what's going to happen when global travel picks back up again. 2 weeks ago, we looked at the top 20 countries in the world for deaths per million. At the time, we noticed that most of them were in Europe. There were a few in North America and a few in South America. But what's really interesting is over the past 2 weeks, the four most heavily impacted countries in South America grew by 35%. The four most heavily impacted countries in Europe grew only 3%, and the US grew about 13%. So what we're seeing is a differential progression of this pandemic in different countries. And what we don't know yet is whether the growth in South America is going to spill back over into North America, and North America back into Europe, and so on. So there's a lot of unanswered questions. I've done a number of short videos that you might be interested in at this website. But if you have any questions on issues that I haven't addressed, please let me know. You can email me at this number or give me a call. Thanks a lot.